So the Lead Safe certificate program started in 2019, and this is a result of the vast amount of lead poisoning that we have in Cleveland. So we're more than double the lead poisoning rates of peer cities. It's completely unacceptable, and so the city wanted to take a very aggressive stance to address lead poisoning. So the Lead Safe ordinance was passed in 2019. There are two ways the ordinance allows it to be enforced, and it puts the onus on the landlord to provide data about the lead safety of their unit. So typically they will use a private lead contractor, a lead worker, either a clearance technician or someone who does risk assessments to come to the unit and evaluate that unit for lead risk. So with the passage of Residents First last year, Lead Safe certificate is one of the factors that a landlord must have to rent in good standing. And what we have found through research is that when landlords are using a lead clearance exam as opposed to a risk assessment, there may be some unintended consequences. And so 11 children were found poisoned in homes that have a Lead Safe certificate, and that was very alarming to all of us, and especially to Mayor Bibb.
Babies are the ones who get lead poisoning really by crawling on the ground and putting their hand in their mouth along the edges of walls and at windowsills where there's lead paint dust. Unfortunately, lead poisoning affects children by slowing down their brain, making it harder to learn, causing all sorts of behavioral difficulties at an early age. The lead industry knew that lead was toxic to developing brains probably for over 100 years. But it finally became banned in paint in 1978. Unfortunately, most of our homes here in Cleveland were built well before 1978, and the older they are, the more lead paint that they have in them.
The ordinance allows for two ways to be lead safe certified. So it says it can be a risk assessment or it can be a clearance exam. Many people have been opting for a clearance exam. So administratively, we're making a pivot to that, and now we are saying that all landlords need to get a risk assessment of their unit, which is a much more comprehensive inspection process. It leads to a remediation plan, and we will hold them accountable to that remediation plan.
So to remove the lead from a home, a process called abatement, it can be anything from removing old walls or replacing windows, or there's special types of paint that can cover up old lead walls that will keep it intact for at least 20 years. But all of that work requires an abatement professional, but that's the work that we need to do in the city of Cleveland to get to a lead-free future.
The good news is there are a lot of resources out there for landlords to help them fix their units. There's grant programs at the city and with the Lead Safe Cleveland Coalition, so there's many ways that we're going to help them bring their units into lead safety. But we believe, after analyzing the ordinance and analyzing the results and seeing the poisoned children, that going into a risk assessment model is going to be a way more effective way to guarantee lead safety going forward.
The best thing that you can do if you're purchasing an old home in Cleveland is to get it tested, to get a lead risk assessment. A lead risk assessor is a licensed professional who will go through the home and really evaluate every window, every corner, every wall to see if there's a risk of lead poisoning in the future.